Hi, everyone. So I was just told backstage that Norwegian audiences don't really answer when you ask questions, so I'm going to need your help, and I'm going to need you to answer. Go back 2 seconds to middle school. You learned about the Second World War. When you learned about the Second World War, did you go out of the room thinking, would I have resisted? Would I have fled? And did you end up discussing it with either friends, family, or your teacher? Please raise your hand, prove Christophe backstage wrong, if you did actually do that, if you ended up discussing what you would have done. Okay, most of you did. I did too. I went home and I was sure that I would have resisted. I was sure. I told my dad I would have resisted, we would have done the right thing, etc. Obviously, if you look at history and how we act today, this is not how things go. This is not what we do. I'm not saying this to shame you or to shame myself, but to use it as a wake-up call. Right now, we see our countries often declining demographically, politically, and even morally. Europe and our countries support genocidal regimes, buy oil from dictators, and contribute to the climate collapse. We are supposed to do better than this. Our middle school selves would want better. I've tried. As you've heard, for the last 5 years, I've tried to build a global political movement because I believe that a lot of the challenges we face across the world are global. We need to work on them together. So we need to tackle climate, wars, unregulated artificial intelligence together. It's called Atlas. And in the past, I built a European political party called Volt that sits in the European Parliament and in multiple parliaments across Europe. And I did so because I have the belief, just like post-Second World War, that European collaboration and our countries are supposed to try to not repeat the mistakes of the past. We're supposed to ensure that division and hatred does not overtake our continent again. Again, it's not going so well. Our countries love to position themselves as champions of human rights. You've heard it, as countries that will uphold international law. Well, our countries are some of Israel's biggest supporters through its occupation, apartheid, and genocide. This country, where the conference is taking place, has until, I think, today, refused to divest its wealth fund from Israeli companies that are directly responsible, in part for the occupation, making it complicit in Israel's crime. We all want a green Europe. We want our children to be able to grow up in a healthy environment. And a lot of countries are doing great. They're doing big efforts to decarbonize, while often ramping up aggressively the oil and gas industry. And look, I'm talking about Norway, but you can hear my accent. I'm French. France is at least as bad. It's a problem we all have. So then we have the question, what can we do? What should we do so that our middle school selves would actually be proud of us? Let me start with my deep belief. For Europe to be resilient and relevant, it has to lead based on values, not just its strategic interest or economic interest. And this means, because our governments are not doing it, it's up to us. So how? You have 3 ways, I think. The first one is you go the institutional way. You make your way to your government or to a big institution like the United Nations, and you make change from the inside. You have the second one. I don't recommend it, but I still need to mention it. You yield enough power, enough money that you can bend the will of institutions to your own. It's a bit dystopian. We're living through it often. Wouldn't recommend this one. Or you have the last one. You act. You spark a flame. After years of work in activism and politics, I believe that when people rally, anything is possible. And we've seen it. Look at the suffragist movement, at the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa. It's possible. So back to you. You have to act. The future of Europe is in your hands, not in anyone else's. You get to join protest. You get to boycott. You get to join resistance movements. When you go home, don't turn on Netflix, but try to imagine for a second, what would Europe look like if it led with values, if it led with our collective well-being in mind, our planet's future? And then stop imagining and make it happen. Thank you.